evening. Welcome to Markets Today. I'm Lata Venkatesh and with me is Sonia Shenoy. For an expiry day and for a heavy contract like this where the Bank Nifty and the Nifty have notched up significant gains, it was a fairly stable end, you will have to say. It's a heavy contract that has rolled over with a lot of hope, but looks like it is putting a lot of onus on the December contract. Hi.
Hi Lata. Yes, a good end to a good series. So we did see the Nifty at the 8500 level finally, and by the time we closed the series, the Nifty gained what, 4%? The Bank Nifty gained more than 7%. So let's see how the December series starts off. November has been very kind to the markets, but these are all the top headlines that we're tracking on Markets Today. It's a positive end to the strong November series. The Nifty ends just shy of 8500, up 0.2% for the day, while the mid caps are up about 0.6%. For the series though, the Nifty ends up 4%, while the Bank Nifty rises more than 7%.
Heavyweights like Punjab National Bank, HUL, HCL Tech and Infosys lead the markets higher today, while DLF is amongst the top losers in the Nifty. The Supreme Court will hear DLF's plea seeking exemption from paying 630 crore penalty tomorrow. The company, however, has offered to pay 100 crore of the total penalty today itself.
And GSPL in the broader markets gained for the second day running. It was up almost 5% after the Appellate Tribunal for Electricity, or the APTEL, ruled in favor of the company in the PNGRB case. The PNGRB has now been asked to revise the tariff upward for GSPL's high-pressure Gujarat gas grid.
And after those headlines, here are the experts that we have lined up on the show for you tonight. Krishna Kumar Karwa of MK Global will be telling us how he is reading the markets for the medium term and the long term. Sudarshan Sukhani will talk about the technicals, and we will get you some perspective on the global crude scenario, very important today.
All right, but straight off to the day's trading action. No expiry jitters at all. It was a stable close to a spectacular series on Dalal Street. In fact, by the end of the day, the Nifty, as we mentioned, was just shy of 8500, and lots of heavyweight participation coming in. You can see that last minute yank up on the index just indicates that this is a bull market, and every dip is still a buying opportunity. Anuj Singhal is here to give us a wrap up of the day's trading action. Anuj.
Well, expiry day turned out to be like expiry days at times do, which is flat through the day and then a bit of activity towards the end. The good thing was that it was a positive closing for the market for a series which has been really strong for the market, especially for the Bank Nifty. So a good day, the Nifty closing right at 8500, mid caps outperformed, things looking quite good. Stocks that dominated included stocks like BHEL in the high beta space, that was up 5%. PNB, Hindustan Unilever, IT stocks did well, Infosys, HCL Tech, TCS. So good going for the market overall. In terms of losing stocks, Bharti Airtel and ITC were two stocks which were on the downside, and then you had stocks like DLF as well, which was lower but which had a good series overall. So the sense you get is that it was a good series for the market in overall terms, but towards the end there was some warning signs about some mid caps, and the issue would be whether in month of December can the market continue to build on, or will the market see a bit of correction. The smart money believes that maybe a bit of correction could be in the offing.
No, I take your point completely, Anuj, on that. Despite that stable end to the stellar series, as you put it, there were butterflies in the stomach. It's been a heavy rollover as well. And my sense is that a lot of people are disappointed out there about the winter session of Parliament. Nothing much productive is expected from that. So it looks like the December 2nd credit policy is almost the last bastion. If the governor plays true to form and doesn't give that rate cut, then there could be a lot of people who would use that as an excuse to sell out, because later on in the month and in the months, there is one big money-soaking event, the divestment. It could well happen in December itself or in early Jan, so people could use that excuse to take profit and make some money available for that divestment, which will be obviously cheaper for the retail sector. And therefore, my sense is that there's something possibly that could see selling in the December contract. But, well, experts tell me in all but 6 out of the last 35 Decembers, the contract has actually done well. So there you are. Speaking of views, let me get you some more market opinion. Krishna Kumar Karwa of MK Global Financial Services believes that now is the time for Indian investors to actually increase their exposure to equities, and he thinks financials are the best bet. Listen in.
We have had a run of almost 700-800 points on the Nifty in the last 40-45 days. And at the 8,500 odd levels, you feel that the markets should be more in a kind of a consolidation kind of phase before they start moving up next. I believe that as far as the 2nd December RBI policy, RBI statement, as markets are not looking at a rate cut in that meeting. Investors should be looking to steadily, regularly invest rather than trying to time the market. And it's very difficult for any investor to be able to do that. So if there are corrections, it's good enough because that's an opportunity for you to invest. And otherwise also I think it's best to, Indian investors are underinvested into financial assets and specifically equities. And so it's time to increase their exposure to an asset class which is expected to do well in the next 3 to 5 years.
All right, and now for all the action from the futures and options space, let's go across to Varinder Bansal. Varinder.
Well, thank you so much. Quite clearly, we were not able to cross 8,500 on the expiry. It's a bit struggling if you just see the options data for the next series. Clearly, you're seeing a lot of put trading happening at 8,300, 8,400, and the premium clearly are coming down for 8,500. While on the other side, you are seeing some buying happening at 8,500 to 8,600. But quite clearly, that's not empathetic in terms of premium moving much higher in most of the options data. What you're watching out for December series. Quite clearly, BHEL was the star of the day. The stock actually recovered nearly 6% from intraday low, and nearly 3-4% just came in last half an hour, and that was because of that volume-weighted average buying which was there. OBC PNB also saw some buying happening in long addition happening in December series. Keep an eye on HPCL, BPCL, that is very important because we are also awaiting that OPEC decision coming in, and those two stocks will be important to watch out for tomorrow. Reliance Capital, continuing with the uptrend, was up 4%, long build-up seen over there as well. Crompton Greaves, after that huge block deal happening in, the stock was under pressure, short position seen over there, and DLF continues to be under pressure. We saw a short build-up in December series as well, but I'll be keeping an eye on all these OMCs, particularly in the morning.
Fair enough, Varinder. The F&O market is also going to see fresh additions tomorrow. Would you want to take us through some stocks that were on your radar today itself?
Well, quite clearly there will be there will be 6 new stocks will be added to F&O tomorrow, and these are very important stocks, especially if you're watching out for the mid-cap space. Look at these stocks, I'll just name them: MTech Auto, Bosch, Strides, Arcolab, Indiabulls Housing Finance, Wockhardt, Engineers India Limited. All those stocks will be very important. But also important is that before even coming into the F&O space, just see the month-to-date performance of most of these stocks. MTech Auto has already rallied 24% month to date. Bosch is up 21%. Strides, Arcolab is up 22%. Indiabulls Housing Finance is up 13%. Wockhardt is up 10%. Barring EIL, which is down 13%. But MTech, Strides, Wockhardt, Indiabulls Housing Finance, these will be crucial stocks to watch out for, in tomorrow. So the outperformance, whether it continues or not, we'll have the answer tomorrow.
All right. Thanks so much, Varinder, for that. So those are the new kids on the block. But Crompton Greaves was another stock that moved quite a bit in trade today. In fact, it slumped nearly 6% after Avanta Holdings sold the company's shares via a block deal. Nimesh Shah joins in to give us all the details. Nimesh.
There was a big block deal in Crompton Greaves today wherein the promoters sold 5.2 crore shares, which is close to 8.5% of the company's equity via block deal to institutional investors. Now at an average price of around 195 rupees per share, the deal works out to close to 1,000 crores. That's the money that the promoters have raised by selling their 8.5% stake in Crompton Greaves today. Now post the stake sale of 8.5%, the Avanta Holding will continue to hold close to 32% stake in the listed entity Crompton Greaves. While the company made a statement to the exchanges post the stake sale saying this is just a one-off share sale by the promoters to cut the debt of the company. However, analysts who track the company believes that this is a precursor to the proposed demerger that the company had announced in October. According to the October announcement, the company wants to demerge the consumer business into a separate entity. Post the demerger of the two entities, as things stand, with the current stake sale, the Avanta holding will continue to hold close to 25% stake in the listed entity company believes. The stock was down in today's trade, was under pressure because the whole deal was offered at a 3 to 4% discount to yesterday's closing price. But the big takeaway is the promoters have sold 8.5% stake in Crompton Greaves today and have managed to raise close to 1,000 crores by selling the stake to institutional investors. Back to you.
Thanks for filling us in, Nimesh. Let's move on to some global news now. Crude prices have been on a downward slide over the past several weeks, and the Vienna Convention of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries is going to be more important for several reasons. But regardless of the outcome of that meeting, here's an expert, Seth Kleinman of Citi, who says that there are so many bearish cues that crude is unlikely to see too much of an upswing. Let's hear him out.
Getting the timing on geopolitics, trying to call the timing on geopolitics is a total mug's game. But I actually think that the geopolitical backdrop here is, I think, being underpriced. Typically, when you see some kind of disruption, when you see a gunfight in the eastern province of Saudi Arabia, happened a couple of weeks ago, when you see a report in the Financial Times that the civil war in Libya is spreading into the oil patch, typically I'll get a lot of emails from clients, people want to talk about it. Now no one cares. The geopolitical backdrop is still volatile, to say the least, and I think it's significantly underpriced. So that's a problem for this market here. One is that we can stabilize around this $80 level once OPEC feels a bit of panic, comes to the table, actually does something. Plus, we see some kind of significant geopolitical disruption, which has appeared with a great deal of regularity, unfortunately, for the world over the past 5 years. So something bad happens. If both those two things happen, then we're at an $80 level-ish. If neither of those things happen, then we're going to be trading significantly lower, and that's where you're looking at something like you need to probably finish the year down in the 50s if you really want to start curbing U.S. production growth, which is really what has transformed this market.
$50. I'm sure the Indian Finance Minister and the Reserve Bank of Governor would be very glad if that prediction actually came true. And a lot of people on the street believe that that's the way crude is headed. Time for a break now, but coming up, Sudarshan Sukhani will join in for a technical chat, and we'll also get you some trading ideas from several experts.